Today is February 4th, 2021. My name is Peter Hoffman, Chair of the EDC. This is a remotely conducted open meeting. As a preliminary matter, this meeting may be audio or video recorded. Members who are present, please say your names.
Paul Anderson.
Jeff Green.
Jason Rowell.
I'm now calling this meeting to order, and that is our reduced script.
Great.
So makes it a little less painful. I'll go through a couple of things first, if that's okay, and then we'll chat about the last two items on the agenda. The annual town report, thanks to Paul, is done and submitted timely. We did a couple of back and forths, but that was about it. And actually, I think Jeff made a correction as well. So
yeah, I apologize for adding the E, Jeff, to your name. You're doing so much, I figured, give you more credit.
I had a nickel for every time one of my names was spelled wrong.
Yeah, you'd be rich. Yep,
right.
I believe that.
So let me tell you about C3. So do you remember Encore Rugta spoke to us 6 or 9 months ago?
Yeah.
So I was listening to one of the town meetings, and I think it was the ZBA about their application for some relief, called 2-3 weeks ago. And I overheard all kinds of controversies and issues. And then I came to learn that the driveway, and stop me if you know all this, but the driveway that accesses, or the easement that accesses their proposed space in the back of DCU is not only Marlboro, but restricted zoning wise. And long story short, DCU has objected to the use of the driveway for the proposed use, which is cannabis. And the city of Marlboro has raised some questions. So it occurred to me, given our relationship with Meredith Harris, who Paul knows, and I'm not sure if the other two of you know, who's the EDC chair or executive director for the city of Marlboro, with a much more robust mission, should be introduced to this fellow. So I did just that. I introduced Encore to Meredith. We had a 3-way conversation. She was not aware of the application pending, one of the details. He was not aware of her, and that connection has been made, and I feel like the EDC did something productive. Whether it'll resolve the objections of the DCU or the city of Marlboro, I don't know, but just to keep you up to speed, that's what has transpired. Questions?
No, that's great.
So there you go. Not to put you on the spot, but Jason, anything on the signs or IT update wise?
Really nothing going on with IT. I was able to put up the PP information from before with a little help, but we were able to get it attached to the page. So I think that moving forward, if we have information we want to get on there, we can relatively quickly too. I wish I could have attended the 4-hour seminar a couple Thursdays ago for website management and stuff. And, I'm just wondering if maybe I can get a little help from one of our folks in the town to teach me how to use the system, since I couldn't attend that seminar. But to my knowledge, doesn't need to be any updates right now. Everything seems to be fine. I don't have any real new information on signs. I guess I was a little confused as I was thinking about this the other day. The last meeting, we left it kind of open-ended. I was going to get a hold of Richard. I think it was Richard.
Yeah, Richard Hanks, building commissioner.
And then I thought one of you were going to give me a contact for the Lions Club.
Yeah,
I apologize. I don't remember. Go ahead, Jeff.
And that's okay. I don't know if we need the Lions Club. I just need to get a hold of Richard and understand what we can or can't do. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is what would they approve? I can't imagine the Lions Club's going to want to remove their sign, that they worked on getting sponsored and getting put up. So, I don't know if we want to focus on the garden, the community garden location first, because that's our property. It would be less, I think, less push to get approval to put a sign somewhere else.
Do we want to focus on one sign at a time, or all,
well, I guess that's what I'm
two or
asking.
3 or 4 at once? What do you guys
I guess
think?
Yeah.
Well, I think I like that idea. I mean, I would like to do all of them at once, but I think you're right, Jason. It could take years if we're going to focus on 3 or 4 locations. Well, even the 3 locations we talked about, the 62-495 because it's DOT property, the one in Clinton because there's the Lions Club sign there. How many Welcome to Berlin signs do we need? I like the idea of sort of saying, okay, the community garden one seems pretty straightforward, no conflicts. We own the property, talk to the building inspector or whoever and say, what do we need to do?
Yeah. I think that at least will help us lay out the platform for future.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will make the commitment to get a hold of Richard this week.
I do just want to point out there is a Lions Club sign over there as well. It's just further up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's past the Rotary. It's near the post office, right, Jeff? Between the Rotary and the post office.
More like the driving range, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, across from the driving range. All right, yeah. I know it's over there too, but we can have one sooner.
Okay.
Except the only here's one question I forgot. Yes, that's right. That the community garden, the road along the garden is in fact Berlin property. The stream is not the boundary. Okay. Yep. I just wanted to, in my mind, make sure we looked at that before. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Have we omitted one little detail, which is how we're going to pay for this? Because we can get permission till doomsday, and if we can't pay for it, it's kind of moot.
Well, first we need to make sure we can put it in, right, Peter? And then the paying for it, hopefully with sponsorship from, whether it's maybe Jeff's employer is going to donate the $750 we need, or somebody else. And we were then going to try to figure that out, whether it's going to be sponsored by people. I think we haven't gotten there yet. I mean, we need to know what's going to cost.
But don't we want to accelerate this? I was going to suggest that we don't meet next month, the month of March, but we meet the month of April. And that would give enough time for this to advance to a productive end. And at this rate, we'll have the first sign in 2023. I mean, we talked about this a long time, and I realize we're all volunteers, but I think we should find a way to be more productive.
Well, do you have some ideas about how to get to pay for this?
Not productive ones. No, I think it's something. I mean, given COVID and tight budgets, I don't know what well we can go to.
Well, are you suggesting we put this on hold because there's
no? I think we need to be especially creative and use the talent that we bring to this committee. I just don't think we should kick the can down the road. Well, let's get the permission. Let's get the location. We've decided on the location. We've got this tacit agreement to do the gardens. So that's one thing out of the way. I think the source, Jason has got the source, right, of the sign?
Yep.
So he's got that. We got that under control.
Yep.
Well, I would suggest that Jason speak with Richard and Dave Smith again. Remember, he spoke to us at the meeting.
Yeah.
Get both their inputs. I would even talk to Dave Smith first, because maybe you can just skip Richard.
Yeah, he kind of just pushed me down the road when I reached out to him after the last time.
What did he say that makes you say that?
Well, he just, I sent him an email after that meeting and said, hey, we talked about town signage. What information do you need? And he just flicked me over to Richard. after he's the one that told us, like, oh, we could have the,
yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, he made it like it wasn't a deal. And then as soon as I reach out to him, he's like, well, you got to go through Richard first.
And that's because he enforces the zoning bylaws. The building inspector does. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. But all you need to do, Jason, is that one's easy, right? I mean, at some level, you just need to say, here's the signs, here's the size, here's an example, here's a mock-up.
Yeah.
Is this sign consistent with, and I think we both looked at this. We both looked at the zoning bylaws. I think we were probably fine, but we can, so fine. So we get confirmation from Richard that, yeah, your sign's fine. Then we're back to Dave Smith.
And we have to have the town give us permission for that location.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And Dave Smith, I assume, I don't know, maybe it is just the town. I don't know whether Dave
Jason,
Smith.
why don't you do this? Why don't you, if you get permission, quote unquote, or tacit permission from Richard, drop me an email and I'll reach out to Margaret and or the select board to either get on the calendar if required, and if not, get permission. And between now and April, let's get these steps out of the way. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
So that leaves the biggest obstacle, how to pay for it. I think Jeff was pretty reluctant to think that the bank was going to support this, understandably so, right? You probably not, right?
Well, I certainly don't think they'd foot the entire bill.
Right.
But they if we're doing a sign at a time, they might be willing to do a sign.
And Jason, do you think it's $750?
I mean,
no, I think my quote was 1,500.
Yeah.
And we had said, we'd break it up into sponsors originally, because we could do up to 3 sponsors per sign.
We might have a $500 or maybe a little bit more budget that we could tap.
Yeah.
But so Jeff, can you get back to Jason and go fishing at Clinton Savings Bank and see if it's a no or a maybe, and if it's a maybe, how much is that?
I already did a little fishing. It's a maybe, but it's going to be dependent on pricing, location, and what it looks like. And they're going to want a mock-up to look at and see how visible it's going to be. And
I can send you the sign, and I can have Clinton Savings Bank put in the sponsor spot, so you have that for your the price. I mean, it's really up to us what we think that sponsorship is worth, and how do we come up with the rest of the funding.
Well, is 1,500 a safe bet, or could it be more, or could it be less?
No, I feel like it was right around 1,500 per sign. I was trying to see. I have the quote in my email. Let me see if I can pull it up over here.
All right. So then, Jason, would you please get together with Jeff and give him what he needs in order to show his leadership what they want, and so we can have an answer?
That can be done.
So I see a list here of building commissioner, sponsor, Clinton Savings Bank, maybe some budgetary money, maybe some Clinton money, location, and permission.
Yeah, the 15. To your point, we should do all this, but to your point, finding money during these times may end up being difficult. Finding sponsors. It's a good point.
If I would feel comfortable, let's use that word, getting a small contribution from Clinton, and I'm going to pick 500 as a small one. And then our budget, maybe past and present, would pick up the rest of the tab. I don't know. I'll ask about the budget, and I'll get back to everyone, because I really we're supposed to have a $500 a year budget, but I'm not sure it accumulates year after year.
So the original quote for the sign is $1,785 plus 200 for install. So you're looking at, you know, $2,000.
Okay.
So if you're doing
Jeff, do you have any? I'm sorry.
3 sponsors and the EDC.
Right.
Yeah.
500 each. Yeah.
Does anyone, and the answer is no for me, have any feel for whether this is a fair quote? Did you approach more than one merchant or more than one provider?
No, I contacted this company 2 reasons. They had worked with the town on other signs. So they already had like approved colors, and they already had all the information from past signs from the town. I can certainly do a little research and see if that's a fair quote.
I'll introduce you to a friend of mine who does vinyl signs, big ones, many tens of feet, kind of wrap buildings, wrap cars. And he's done a sign for me in the past. I'll introduce you to Mark, and if that's okay with you, by email.
Sure.
The bank also uses sunshine signs a lot.
Sunshine?
Yes.
Okay.
So Jason, do you have the time in the next couple of weeks to ferret out Sunshine and my friend and whatever else you must to feel comfortable that we're getting it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can email out and get in a couple of quotes is easy, because I can use the template from them.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. I agree, Jason.
And maybe we'll get a better price, because I'll just send the quote over that I got. Here's what your competitors are telling me. What can you do?
Maybe you want to, but our competitor is not that low of a price, so maybe it's not such a good thing to do.
Yeah.
It strikes me as a lot, because I as a landlord, needed a huge sign like what we're talking about, and I had it made in central New York, and I think it was $500. And it was an Adirondack look. It was wood, and it was like $500. And
I know this is like reflective paint, and
yeah,
you know, it's the kind of like highway department type enamel, so that there's zero maintenance. It's vinyl post. You know, there's there's a little more
to it,
but clearly there won't be maintenance down the road to it. You know, my father's a graphic designer. I could have him design us a sign for a couple $100, but we'd have to paint it every couple of years, which maybe isn't a bad route, because it would be a good project for community service or whatnot to go and touch up the sign. But let me
replace a sponsor, update the sponsor.
So through this company, the update was $115 a year if we wanted to update the sponsors.
So as you learn more, whether it be Mark Eaton, Sunshine, your dad, or other sources, can you just keep on sending emails with updates of what you've learned?
Yeah.
Just send the group email.
Yeah, and I can in conjunction with that get information from Richard to make sure we're good there.
Yeah, let's keep the momentum up. All right, so if I'm gonna recap, Jeff and Jason are gonna discuss what Clinton may or may not do. Jason's gonna figure out the sign options. It sounds like there may be 3. You're gonna reach out to Richard. Locations determined. I'm gonna handle permission once and if we get close. And I'm gonna look into budget.
Excuse me, guys.
Pardon me?
I said, excuse me, I sneezed, sorry.
Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Okay. So does anybody have any results from the stimulus email we posted and sent out, or I posted on Facebook? That's all I did. Did we get any feedback from any interested parties?
I've had people ask about it, but I don't know if they saw it from our thing or somewhere else.
At the branch?
Yes.
And we didn't, you know, we wouldn't know, right? I mean, that was a service. We didn't ask people to get back to us, and we just got out there and, you know, provided information.
Hold on, I'm trying to turn my phone off, but I'm not having much luck. Sorry. But it seems to me that we should have gotten some Facebook feedback at least, and we didn't.
You would know more, Peter. I don't do Facebook.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm thinking it was a big failure, but I don't know that factually.
Yeah. You know, it's, if it helped one person, as we said, or two, and I think we should, I mean, if there's something new, there's what happened to the second update? Did that ever get out?
It didn't. I think that you and or Jeff were gonna, I think Jeff was gonna spearhead that, or at least I was volunteering him to spearhead it.
It's because I have some deadlines have closed, but is there still another deadline that's open? I mean, we don't have to send out the second one. It sort of needs to be on time.
So the grant program has closed. The PPP loan program is ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, again, is it worth putting out a reminder to people, just what you said, that the PPE loan program is still ongoing, and that we should tell people about that? You know, this is for small businesses. I mean, I assume they know, Jeff, but you would have a sense of that. I mean, do you think they know or not? Or do they not? I don't know.
Some do, especially those who already took advantage of the first one.
Right.
But some of them still have to finish their forgiveness before they can apply for the second one.
Okay.
So they're in many different stages of where they are in terms of this program, if they're using the program at all.
Okay.
Jeff, are you willing to draft an update that we can do the same thing with?
So I did draft an update.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it down to one page, but.
Yeah, we can try to, and you and I worked at that. I mean, the other thing was, I tried to edit some of that, and I'm not enough of a Word expert because things were linked and tabs were linked, and I just couldn't figure out how to deal with some of the stuff on the edges. So I mean, it was dropping down closer to one page, but it was still not at one page. Yeah. I don't know that it needs to be.
I played with it a good amount, and I couldn't get that much information down to one page.
Yeah, and I think it was fine. I mean, it's going on a website, so it can be, you know, it's not like we're printing it, right?
And there's still plenty more information that I didn't include, but.
So if it's 2 or 3 pages, I wouldn't waste your time trying to reduce it to 2 or 1. Mm-hmm. So do we want to put something out on the PPP update? And if yes, are you and Paul willing to finalize something?
I mean, I can send you what I did. I don't think there were any editing changes other than trying to make it look prettier, maybe. But
right, that's correct. It's just to make it look prettier.
I don't think there's any harm.
Yeah.
You know, if Peter throws it on Facebook again, and then I have him swap out what's on the website with an updated one, it like you said, if it connects one person, it's a win. If the work's already done on your end, Jeff, like,
yeah, I have it saved on my work computer. I can.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to email it to the group, Peter can post it, and I'll get it on.
If you or you and Paul feel it's ready, mail it to the group, and Jason and I will do our thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send it out tomorrow.
It's in Word format?
It currently is, but I could save it as a PDF if that's preferable.
Well, we'll send it both ways because I forget Facebook doesn't like one or the other. I don't remember which.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what Jason needs for the website. Okay. So along the same lines, you see the little excerpt, hello, Peter, at the way bottom of the email I sent earlier today. Did you guys see that? Hello, Peter, I hope this finds you well.
Yes.
Where was
Life
that?
is, pardon me?
Where was that, Peter?
Under
Who
my
sent that?
signature block on the email about with the agenda.
Yeah.
This afternoon.
Tonight's agenda. Okay. And what was there?
It's
Oh.
the last agenda item. And then there's
Okay.
some language. Hello, Peter. I can read it out loud if you prefer.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I mean.
Jason, you want me to read it or you got it?
I got it.
Okay. So Margaret and I had a conversation last night, and I told her that I felt that, you know, we're relatively irrelevant, the EDC, and we get not much reaction to what we've done, whether it be the surveys we sent years ago or what we posted recently, et cetera. What she wanted us to do was, if I understand this correctly, apparently the new package that's either in place or the Biden package that will be adopted, if it's adopted, will have some, I'm gonna use the word grant money. And who could we give it to? How could we ferret out what businesses could use grant money? My words, not hers. And I said, well, it requires someone to do the legwork. I don't think the four of us are going to do that. And perhaps Mary Arata could do it, but Mary's very, very, very busy. She thought of the 1870 Town Hall director, and I thought that was a good idea because she's relatively less busy because COVID has shut down her business. I said I would bring it to your attention and see if there's any reaction you might have. There you go.
So would this be to direct them towards existing programs, or would this be separate money from the town?
Not town money, this is federal money that I believe she's referring to. Either the latest program that's in place right now or the proposed one that Biden is promoting. I'm not sure which, but there's some opportunity for grant money. I didn't get into the specifics.
Is the grant money to pay for this staffing person, or is the grant money so the staffing person can help small businesses access it?
I'm not clear. I got the impression it was to help small businesses. There's small grants that might be available to help small businesses or businesses. I don't know what's small. So,
and this is separate from, no, you said this is potentially part of what in the Biden package?
It's either part of the existing package, tail end of the existing Trump package, or the proposed Biden package.
We don't even know.
No, but it requires one of the four of us or someone outside of our group to delve into it. And I don't see any volunteers.
Yeah, I'm not volunteering, sorry.
I don't blame you. I told her this is my opinion and mine only. It's very thankless what we do, you know, and it's challenging.
It would be a conflict of interest for me because I would have to bring any programs to my customers first. And
right.
Yeah.
You know, if you're as large as Marlboro's City of Marlboro's EDC, you can assign a staff person to determine what's available and get it as introduced to the proper business. But we're not in that situation. And
we also don't have the business base that Marlboro has, not even close. Right. Exactly. I mean, we got the malls and stuff, which are small businesses, and I'm sure they should know about these kinds of programs already.
Right.
And then we got really tiny businesses who don't really even want to talk to us. Well, that's not fair to say, but they don't really see the need for us. I think of, the 1 and 2 and 3 person businesses in town.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that came to mind was Riverbridge, whether it be the cafe or the hotel.
They could use some help, as I understand it.
Yeah. But
it seemed like from what Matt was telling us when he's attended, they are aware of many of these programs already. I mean, he knew about PP, he knew about the programs when they came available last March or whenever it was that Baker and folks had, and Trump had the first stimulus package.
Right.
I assume he's tracking all that.
I would think that I'd agree with you.
But there's another business, when it comes to the list of emails that we were talking about. There you go. There's another one. I mean, we could certainly be sending stuff to them. They could be on our list, and if we want to send stuff out to an email list.
Yeah. Talking about emails, I had it out with, I think, Mary about email acquisition. And it's just not a priority for the town to acquire a broad database of information, including emails. It's just not on their, they don't agree with me or us.
Well, that's but don't we think that's obvious, Peter? We don't have any, right? We've been trying for this for 2 or 3 years, and so if we need that list, we need to compile it. I mean, it's that simple. And sort of doing what I talked to my wife. She said, give me 6 hours and I'll find you 20 or 30 email addresses for local businesses.
Yeah, but we've got assessor lists, we've got resident lists, but
none of that helps.
Business lists.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, all those are irrelevant. I mean, all I want are the businesses that are the small businesses in town right now.
Right, but the assessor has their own list. And
I hear you, but we haven't been anywhere with. We've tried this over and over again, and this hasn't been the way to do it.
Yeah.
Because if it was, we would have done it. So the way was to say, hey, I'm going to devote half a day, and I'll find 15 or 20 lists, email addresses. I'll call the businesses, I'll look for their websites or whatever, and 15 or 20 is a lot better than 0.
Yeah.
So I probably spend, during non-COVID times, I probably spend 10 to 15 hours a month doing this, trying to look for new businesses to approach. You don't necessarily get any response from a lot of those emails as well, especially if they perceive it as a sales call.
Right. And but Jeff, if what we have is just, we're not looking for sales, we're just saying, again, the information you've put together, we're just sending you out information. This is the Berlin EDC. We're sending you out information. We're hoping it's helpful to you. If it is, get in touch with us or don't. I mean, talk to the bank, do whatever you need to do, but this is for your information. And if you want to be removed from this list or don't want it anymore, write us back.
Yeah. So that's it.
So I know the chambers and such, they have quite an extensive business list. They're not specifically per town, but they're member lists. They send out emails, all the time, monthly emails to businesses with updates of programs like this. If we were to try and work this out with one of them, that might give a heck of a jump start to what you're trying to do. I don't know if they'd be able to, or part with their list, or just see if any of their businesses are interested, but
yeah. Well, okay. I mean, unless somebody wants to take on that task, and I don't believe anybody's volunteering, I think that ends the discussion.
Yeah, I guess the question is, Jeff, do you think that there are any I guess the question is, to what chambers do Berlin businesses subscribe? doing, I mean, do they even know to subscribe? You know, some of these small businesses, they even know to subscribe to a local a local chamber of commerce.
So Neshoba Valley, Assabet, Marlboro, and probably the North Central chambers are the ones that are kind of all around us.
Right.
We Wachusett Chamber, but that folded probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You may remember I had a reference list of chambers, which I'm going to put in the chat in a second. That I used to put on the agenda. I've got it here. Or do I not have chat capability?
And Jeff, I assume then Clinton's obviously part of some of those, right? And you get those whatever blasts they send out. Yeah. Have they too sent out blasts on all the stuff we're talking about on the availability of the PPP and whatever other grants?
Do, yes.
They do. Okay. All right. So the other thing, yeah, right. Okay. I mean, as the EDC, the other thing, if we had our list of emails together for our local businesses, we could remind them that there's the existence of these chambers as well that are sending information out that they may find useful.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And then probably warn them that they may have to pay they may have to subscribe every year. There may be some dues or something if they want to belong.
Yeah, each of them do have dues, but they vary based on the chamber and the size of the business.
And the size of the business, right? Exactly.
I just emailed everyone the list of chambers that I'm aware of that cover our region. One of which, Jason, you were on Metro West. Do I read my notes right?
Sorry, I forgot I was still muted. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Are you still?
Our Wegmans is. Mm-hmm. I am not personally. I do have a contact though that is.
Right. I mean, we could regurgitate the discussion of getting involved with the chambers or reaching out to them. But I'm not sure of becoming a member, which is costly and unnecessary, what we could do with them. I don't think they're going to give us their email list, even just the call to Berlin.
Yeah. I think you're right, Peter. Well, anyway, it's the email list thing remains. I still come back to if that's something we want to do and we think it's important, we need to do it.
Right.
Nobody else can do it.
Okay. I promise to keep this short. Anything further besides scheduling the next meeting?
No.
So is it okay if we skip March and give ourselves some time to catch up? I don't think we have anything that pressing. We can always create a meeting.
That's right.
April, mid-April kind of thing?
Works for me.
Yep.
What I'm wide open Monday through Thursday. What's best for you guys?
That time of year probably fine for me as well.
Yeah. Any day but Wednesday.
I want to do Thursday the 15th of April, tax day.
Beautiful day. Sure.
Is 6 o'clock still good?
Yes.
April 15th, 6 p.m.
All right, let's see if we can get this sign thing rolling. We've got part of it out of the way. I'll do my part and you guys get together with each other. And Paul, you can supervise.
I don't need to supervise. Jason's got this under control. And Jeff, you're gonna do, or you and I look at the final thing. Maybe we're all set. We're just going to send to Peter and Jason the second last about the grants that are available still.
Yeah. Not grants. The second one was about PPP.
Yeah.
So when it's presented, we'll just send it to the EDC email address and it'll go to the 4 of us. And
Okay.
And Jason will do his magic and I'll do mine, and we're off to the races. Anything else, guys?
Yep. Nope.
All right, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
All right. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.